Anna Portalisi. Hi Anna, how are you?
Not too bad in here.
I'm Dominic Portalisi and I'll be conducting the interview today.
Oh, thank you.
Have a
Nice
seat.
to meet you. Thank you very much.
So, how are you feeling today?
Oh, I'm a little nervous in coming here. I'm not usually dealing with lawyers.
Oh.
But, yeah.
Well, I hope the interview goes well and there's nothing to worry about. If you have any questions at all, don't hesitate to ask me.
Thank you for that.
Because at the end of the day, I'm here to help you. And yeah.
I hope so.
Have you ever seen a lawyer before?
No.
Is this your first time?
Yes, so that's why
Okay.
I'm nervous.
That's all right. Well, like I said, there's nothing to be nervous about. I'm just going to explain a couple of just housekeeping rules before we start going into the what brings you here today.
Okay, that sounds good.
So, as of cost, I know cost is a key concern to most clients.
Yes.
Well, there's nothing to worry about today. Today is all free.
Oh, okay.
Today is just to get to know you better and to just to see why you're here.
Okay, that sounds good.
Yeah. So now retainer. Have you ever heard of what a retainer is before?
No, not at all.
Okay, a retainer is just basically a contract that sets the rules and relationship between a client and the lawyer.
Yeah.
So basically, confidentiality, which I'll be going into
that's good.
after.
Yeah, that's good to hear.
And basically just says what is owed of me and what is owed of you to me. Basically,
Okay.
so obligations and
So
stuff like
everything's
that.
like that up front.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
And if we do choose to represent you and we're happy with everything, you'll get the retainer after us. So
Yep, okay, that sounds
that's
good.
you after. So confidentiality. Have you ever heard of confidentiality before? Client confidentiality.
Sort of, nothing.
Well, basically, it's just saying that whatever you say to me, no matter how embarrassing it might seem to you, anything, I won't disclose unless you want me to disclose any information.
I feel a lot better with that because,
Yeah.
as I said, it's my first time and I'm not sure how things are handled.
Yeah.
So that's good to know.
No worries, no stress. Before we begin going into the issues, do you have any questions for me? Anything that wasn't clear?
No,
Okay, so now that we got all of that admin stuff out of the way, did you want to explain to me why you're here?
okay. To be honest, I'm here, or like I've said to you before, I'm here on behalf of my 84-year-old mother.
Yep.
She's quite elderly and she's starting to suffer from dementia. So
Right.
you can understand why I didn't want to bring her out.
Yep.
She's at the moment she's not dealing very well with strangers. She's very paranoid when it comes to strangers,
Right.
especially when the carers come into the house. She's accusing them of stealing food and taking her belongings or not giving her medication. So bringing her here today would have just confused her even more.
Yeah, I completely understand.
But as I said, the reason why I'm here is on her behalf because although when my father passed away, the will was divided between four of us. There's four
siblings.
four
Yep.
siblings, and but my mother doesn't have a very good relationship with the other children. They have no interest in caring for her or let alone coming to visit.
Right.
I don't have a very good relationship with them either. We're quite distant.
Right.
And my mum wanted to, since I'm been taking care of her and living with her and worrying about all her needs,
Yep.
to make her life a bit more comfortable, she wanted to make me the 100% beneficiary of the will.
All right.
Okay?
Yep. Completely understand. Okay, so I just wanted to reframe what you said, just to see if I've got all the right points. So your mother is 84 years old.
Yeah.
She's currently suffering from dementia.
Yes.
Carers do come, but she's very suspicious and she has paranoia
Yes.
about them, and she's
Yeah, they'll
accused
come
them
about 3 times a week.
Okay, yep, and she's suspicious about them stealing food and
Correct.
about not giving her medication. and now you've come here to discuss the will, your mother's will,
Yes.
as she wants to give 100% of the will to you.
Yeah.
And instead of opposed to giving it to equally to all the 4 siblings.
Yes, that's correct.
All right. Well, I do see you're a very caring and loving daughter to your mother,
Thank you. I tried to be.
and I just wanted to go into a few more details about like the house and stuff like that. So could you? And
Well,
do you mind if I take some notes?
Yeah, no, that's fine. Well, it's quite a good size house,
Yeah.
quite substantial actually, a 5-bedroom double story.
Yeah.
It has a land size of over 1,000 metres square.
Okay.
So the last time we had it valued, it was valued at 1.5 million. It's located in Fairfield. It's in a prime position near rail schools and a major shopping centre.
Oh, right.
So
Yeah.
it is of a good property.
Okay, so thank you for giving me all of that information. I know it's very tough to talk about family issues and everything that's going on with your mother, but I just wanted to ask a few more clarifying questions
Yeah,
just,
sure.
to get a full grip on the story.
Yeah, no, sure.
So what was the reason why you decided to move in with your mother? Was it because you wanted to care for her?
No, to be honest, but that's not the reason. The main reason was because I've lost my job in Victoria. I had a
Right.
full-time job with a company in Victoria, and I'm no longer employed by them. And obviously, after I lost my job, I couldn't afford to pay rent.
Yeah.
So the only real option I had was to come back to Sydney and move in with my mum.
Okay.
And I was happy to, due to her giving me that financial stability of
Yeah.
not having to pay rent and things like that, I was more than willing to live with her and be her full-time carer.
Right.
So it worked for both of us, to be honest. So
Yeah.
I got free accommodation. She's getting a full-time carer. Let's just say.
Yeah. And I just wanted to go more into detail about your relationship with your mother. How would you describe your relationship when you were living in Victoria? Was it always a good relationship like it is now?
I'll be honest, growing up, and we didn't have a very good mother-daughter relationship. In fact, that's the reason why I decided to, once my father passed away, I decided to move to Victoria.
Right.
And I was very happy there. I was very comfortable. I would speak to my mum occasionally on the phone,
Yeah.
but it was nothing like those regular chats that a mother and daughter have.
Yeah.
But we did keep in contact, I must say.
Right.
Yes, so
Okay. And you mentioned your siblings before.
yes.
So how would you describe your relationship with them?
Well, it's always been very strained, especially after my father passed away, but even more so now. They're not very happy with me moving in with my mum.
Oh, all right.
Because they presume that I'm manipulating my mum to gain the house
Yeah.
and to for financial gain.
Yeah.
And it's got nothing to do with me wanting to look after my mother, which is not true. I know that it's convenient for me to live there and look after her rather than sending her to the nursing home,
Yeah.
which would have me having to sell the house to give the money to them. So at the
Yeah.
moment, I'm happy with the situation I'm in to live with my mum and be the full-time carer rather than sending her to a nursing home and them gaining the house.